Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video I want to be looking at the Cayo Perico approach vehicle. We'll be reviewing them. We'll be reviewing every single one of them, and yes, I went ahead and I did every single prep for the approach vehicle for the Cayo Perico Island, and now we'll be reviewing it based on how long it takes to complete, the difficulty in completing it, and how effective it is on the island itself, as in the Cayo Perico finale. Yeah, so without further ado, I want us to get right into this. And if you enjoy what you're seeing, I suggest you leave a like, a comment, and if you want, you can leave a recommendation. I can get to it eventually, but until then, yeah, we are just gonna jump straight into this. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. Now, the first thing on our list is the Kosatka prep. The Kosatka prep is pretty simple. Yeah, you just need to steal it off the Merriweather test site, and fast traveling is a much simpler way to do this, and is way faster as well. Yeah, so when you start the mission, you just go to your seat and you fast travel to the closest location to the yellow dot on the screen, and yeah. So we went ahead and skipped the little cutscene there. So after you fast travel, you don't want to get up exactly. Yeah, you want to drive the Kosatka, because the weaponry system in the Kosatka is going to help you a lot. And if you didn't notice, yes, your Kosatka has weapons that you can actually manually use, and it's going to use it to take out the helicopters and the boats surrounding the test site. And you're also going to be able to park your Kosatka on top of their Kosatka to make the escape way more easier. So we're just going to kind of fast forward this little part. As you can see, it was way simple, way easier to do. It took way less time as well. So we were able to destroy every single helicopter, every plane, without actually coming out and risking the chance of death. I know you could have done it without dying, a lot of you could have, but I'm just saying, it's a much simpler method. Now at this point, you're on top of the yellow dot, you just come out, you can go to the back of your Kosatka, which is right where I'm showing you, which you can equip your scuba gear, so you don't have to worry about, drowning before you actually reach the target. And we're just gonna skip this little part. Now, at this point, when you're actually in the enemy Kosatka, yeah, it's gonna be filled with guards and enemies from front to back, up to down, left to right. Every corner, every turn is gonna be filled with some type of dude trying to kill you with a heavily armed gun. So you gotta be more than just prepared. You can't expect to kill them with just a pistol. If you go in there with expecting a pistol fight, you're gonna die with like 2 shots. So you gotta be more than just prepared and just anticipate everything. And the spawn points are like 3 to 4 different spawn points. Sometimes they spawn at the back there where exactly I just shot, sometimes they don't, sometimes it does. In this case, I was unlucky and it did not spawn there. So now we are gonna force to scurry this entire boat, yeah, this entire submarine, and look for that little device that I'm gonna need. So let's go ahead and try to find the device. Now, this was simply an unlucky run for me due to true major fact, which is I'm just an unlucky guy straight up. Majority of the time, it's never this complex or complicated. Sometimes you find it on your first try, sometimes you really gotta work to get it, but yeah, now we know how to get it. Now we're just gonna, now that pretty much the entire boat is dead, I can just kind of just flunks my way all the way back to the ship, to my submarine, matter of fact, and that's gonna be the end of this mission. So we won't be ranking it until the end of the video, but in terms of difficulty, the enemies was quite numerous, you know, it was quite some. And also, when you get out of this submarine, there are still going to be helicopters chasing you. That is why I recommend the ship, your submarine, to be placed directly on top of the enemy submarine, or Meriwether submarine itself. So this way you can just go on the submarine and you can go directly into it without having to wait for those enemy ships to come up. Because if you had to swim for like 10-15 seconds, they're just gonna come and they're gonna kill you with like 3 shots, and it's gonna get frustrating really quick. But that's the end of this, so let's move on to the second one. Now that we finished the Kosatka prep, it's time to do the second one on the list, which is the plane. And like I said before, fast travel is always much easier. I didn't have to do it in this round due to the fact that I was already there. Now mind you, this is kind of my second or third run try in this mission. I never actually used the plane that much until I decided to make a video about it, so I was relatively new. Yeah, so if there was a better, much faster way to do this, I'm sure you can let me know down below. But overall, I'm just gonna skip this little piece right here. So now I flew all the way to the base, and number 2, I recommend you have your goggles, which is your night vision that you can equip it from your accessories in your interaction menu, and then you can put it on. So when the power comes off, you're able to see inside and it doesn't be all dark. As you can see, I'm doing right here, I put on night vision and I'm able to go inside. With the lights off, I'm able to see perfectly clear. Now, most of the time, I'm not too sure, so you're gonna have to correct me here, but I'm pretty sure that the laptop spawns in the singular same place all the time. I was just unfamiliar with the layout. That's why, you know, I had to take my own route. But if you got a faster route, you can go ahead and take it. You know, I took my route because, like I said, it was like my second or third time. You know, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware if killing people would alert everyone else, so I just kind of not killed everyone. You know, and I just kind of kept going. But it seems that when you activate a laptop, open the door using the laptop, everyone kind of alerts, so you can just go ahead and run directly to the plane. I just kind of got stuck for a second, but yeah, you can just directly run to the plane and you can fly to the location that Pavel is going to tell you to fly to, which is pretty much a hangar in Martin Madrazo stuff, you know. Forgive the background, I have a puppy and a few kitties around me. I don't know if you know this, but I'm outside. I'm chilling. It's nice. It's cool. It's 1:30 in the morning. So I just figured I record this outside. Mostly because everyone inside is sleeping and I needed to talk loud enough so you can understand me. And now we are on to our next mission, which is the pilot. I'm pretty sure the pilot is also a prep that is going to automatically be used for like 2 other of the approach vehicles, or I'm pretty sure it was like 1 other, which is the helicopter. But yeah, now this mission, the fast travel may not be so effective, but get you close enough and you can just use the buzzer to get you to the rest of the location, or your purse, or whichever works for you. Personally, you can just take the buzzard because you're already in the air. You can just helicopter on to the location, you know. So we're just gonna skip to the little piece.
We do him the favor of getting rid of him. He does us any favor we wish.
Now, my flying may have been a little horrendous, I apologize, but yeah, now we're at the location, and upon doing this mission, this is when I realized that hey, I actually think I did it with a random a few times, but I never actually did it myself. Like I said, I may not have done it myself, maybe like once, but I remember doing it a few times with the random. Yeah, this is when I realized you just had to go inside, killed everyone, and that was pretty much it. So you can choose whichever method works for you to killing everyone. You can just use a shotgun or whatever. I choose to use this gun because why the hell not, you know? And please, do not be like me, you wanna check every room because apparently there is guys in literally every single corner. I do not know why, but it's just how it is, I guess. Now, at this point, you just kinda had to escape the cops, and lucky me, I died. Of course I did. I should have just gotten in the plane and just flied off, but I just had to fight, you know? So, now that we can safely escape the cops, it may take a minute or two, but yeah, once you finish escaping the cops, that's pretty much it. You know, for this mission, you know, like I said, this is kind of like the Kosatka prep, not as bad because these enemies were not as deadly armed. They were still doing damage, but not as much damage as the Meriwether guys was doing. But yeah, now we're just gonna go on to the next mission. Yeah, so the next mission on our list is actually the plane, the Velum, which is gonna have to go to Sandy Shore Airfield. And now you can choose your own method to get there. I chose the fast travel, then hop in the buzzard, and then just fly over to the airfield. Yeah, that is much faster, much quicker, much easier for me. You can choose your way, whichever your way is. So yeah, let me just skip to that piece. Alright, now that we're here, before you wonder why I am running in the direction of the plane that is in front of me, is because I failed to look at my minimap and realize that this was in fact the wrong damn plane. I just assumed that it was just this easy, there was no guards because I was just lucky, but of course I just failed to properly look at my minimap and realize this wasn't the damn plane. It was the other one. It was just about this time I realized I was at the wrong damn place. So now we're just gonna have to run all the way over there. And now this is what I get for failing to look at my minimap. This was completely on me. I could have avoided this if I simply just looked on my map. But yeah, the plane is here and this prep is pretty simple. It's just like gathering intel. You just go to the plane, kill the guards, take the plane, fly it, and that's pretty much it. Except the flying part, I gotta fly it from here all the way back to LSIA and put it in the same hangar that we stored the big ass Acosta plane. I'm sorry, I butchered the name. But yeah, now that we kill everybody, we just kind of hop in and we're just gonna fly it all the way over there. Now, apologies if it's windy, like I said, I am outside and it is a little bit windy. So let's get to this. And now it wasn't that too bad of a flight. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and skip to the next prep. And the next prep on our list is the plane, the annihilator, the helicopter. I do not know why I said plane. It's almost 2 o'clock. I am tired. I am sorry. Anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and skip to the part where we're... What the fuck was that? I'm sorry. Anyways, there is a kitty outside that is just losing his mind. Anyways, we're just gonna continue. I am sorry, there was just this kitty outside absolutely losing their mind. They're still losing their mind. Anyways, like I was saying, do not approach this island, this little headquarter with any air type vehicle. You're gonna get shot out. They have anti-aircraft missiles. So any air superiority you think you have over them, you do not. This entire place needs to be cleared by foot with a friend if you have it. I didn't have a friend. I just kind of went this solo by myself. If you're careful and confident, go ahead by yourself, yeah? So we're just, oh yeah, this happened. This is what happened when you're by yourself. You just kind of get one-shotted. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and fast forward to me actually doing everything. Now, at this point, I kinda just lost track of the mission I was in, of why I was there, what I was doing, was the point of me even being there, and I just kind of want to fight the helicopter that was gonna come for me. Those 2 helicopters right there, and now I am gonna spend the next 5 minutes trying to kill these people. So to not make myself look embarrassing as hell, to see how badly I suck at controlling this thing, I am going to skip it so that you don't laugh at me. Alright, I do not want you to make fun of me. Alright, I know I suck. You do not need to explain it to me. Okay, so if you made it this far, then I made you watch the entire fight. I know, I suck. You can say it if you want to say it. Now, I am not running from that one guy. My helicopter is about to blow up, and I'm not about to let this entire mission go to shit just because I wanted to play fight. So we are just gonna end it right here, and we're gonna move on to the next mission, and also be very careful when landing it, because apparently landing sucks. But still, on to the next mission. And continuing, the simplest method to fast travel is always the Kosatka. You can be able to fast travel and get to the location that you need to get to. In this particular case, we need to go to this area, so we're just going to use the Kosatka. We're going to go to that area and we're going to continue. Now that we already fast travel, you have multiple methods. You can just simply get up, go to your buzzard, go to oppressor, whichever is better for you, whichever one you choose to do. In this particular case, I choose the buzzard and I chose to just shoot the missiles at it. But if I was you, I would choose a car after you finish with the missiles. Yeah, the missiles is going to make it easier. But after you use all the missiles, I recommend you come out of the buzzard and use the oppressor or a car that has some type of machine gun. Because when the boat comes, it's going to immediately drive away. So you either want to get a flying vehicle with machine guns or position yourself correctly in which you can get it. In this particular case, I got lucky because the boat ended up getting stuck, and I'll show you that in a second. As I said, I got lucky because the boat ended up getting stuck when the boat arrived. Instead of it driving away, it just kind of got stuck in the snow, which was way lucky for me. So I just had to kill the driver, kill the dude that was shooting me, go in the boat, and this was kind of the hard part. This is why I recommend you get a friend to help you defend yourself, or just get a shit ton of revives by yourself, because there's going to be 2 helicopters and a whole bunch of guys shooting you, and this boat is going to be slow as shit. And like I said, this is the fastest in which this boat is able to go. And as you can see, I had literally no revive or health left. Health, I don't know why I said revive, but it's still better if you can just sway and evade everyone yourself, or you can just go ahead and just get a friend to help you out. You know, either one works for you, you know. So yeah, let's continue. After about 5 to 7 minutes worth of driving this boat, I was able to escape with a shit ton of dudes shooting at me. You know, there was dudes at everywhere, every location. I was lucky to have really made it out alive because I had no health. If I died, I had to restart the whole mission. But now that we're here, we just gotta drive it to the drop-off point, and that's pretty much it. So we are gonna continue from there. Starting off with the Kosatka prep, if you have the fast travel, it makes it much easier. If you have the missiles with the submarine, it makes it even easier. The bad part of this mission is the fact of the amount of fully armed security guards that you're gonna have to deal with. You're gonna have to deal with the patrol boats, and includes the patrol helicopters as well, and some even backup helicopter when you destroy those helicopters. And when you're inside the Merryweather submarine itself, the space is so tightly packed, so tightly crammed that every corner you could die to a Merryweather security guard, because these guys, they are well trained and they do not mess around. Alright? So unless you're very good at a game, or you just pop rocket launchers and spam grenades, then you'll be fine. But overall, the mission isn't that much to do in the mission. It's just the amount of cards that you're gonna have to deal with, you know. That's the only bad part about it. But this prep makes it number 2 on my list, taking everything into account. It earns a nice little spot at number 2. If you think that I am wrong in this, then you can let me know down below. And continuing to number 3, which is the patrol boat. To me, the only reason the patrol boat makes it to number 3 is the fact that you are able to maneuver around the island from the get-go at the beginning of the finale for the Cayo Perico heist. You're able to move around from place to place, A to B, right from the start of the mission. You don't have to worry about running or finding your own vehicles or just swimming, unlike the submarine. So that is one of the only reasons it makes it to number 3. Yeah, because the prep of the mission, it's challenging, it's long, and it's too not complicated, but just overall annoying, you know. So that's the only reason it makes it number 3, and we're gonna continue. And earning itself at number 4 is the Velum, which is the plane, which is the smuggler plane that you're gonna have to steal. At the start of Cayo Perico, you usually have to steal a plane and go to the island to gather intel. It's pretty much the same idea for the finale. You steal the plane, you go to the island, but overall you're still gonna have to find a way to get to the mansion itself. That's the only down part of it. Yeah, it's a nice way to infiltrate the island, get your goods, but you're still gonna have to find a way to get from A to B. I failed to mention that you also get detected whenever you use the Velum or the plane. You know, usually you can use the trucks, but if the truck isn't spawned at the airport of the Cayo Perico, the infiltration truck that you can use to infiltrate the mansion itself, then the plane is not going to be worth that much in the overall run, you know? So I don't really recommend doing this unless you just want to have fun, basically. And number 5 on my list is the jet or the stealth plane, the stealth jet that you're gonna steal from the Meriwether security. Now, the reason this is number 5 is pretty simple. There are just way better options out there. You know, there is the plane. You know, that's a little bit better option than the jet, because the jet works like this. You're gonna have to parachute in to the island itself on the jet. So unless you plan on using the Cayo Perico truck, the jet isn't gonna be that big of a deal, or something that you should do. I only recommend it to do if you want to do it and you want to have fun. But if you're going to do the Cayo Perico seriously, then this is not really an option I recommend for you. You know, it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, because you're going to have to parachute in, you're going to have to know where the Cayo Perico truck is, you're going to have to find the uniforms, you're going to have to get to the mansion, and that is already like 5 to 10 minutes worth of time already, you know? So the prep itself was not hard, the mission was not hard, part 2 of the prep was not hard, it was not difficult, but in terms of difficulty to get the plane, it was an easy 0. It was simple, right? But on the next one, it was not that simple. And last but not least, we got the helicopter. The mission was a bitch, the prep itself was a bitch, and using it is not even recommended. It basically, you just jump in out of the helicopter using a rope, it's gonna send you down, and then you're still gonna have to find an alternate way of getting to the actual mansion itself. And like I said, the reason it's dead last is because of the fact that there's way better vehicles and way better approach vehicles out there that you can use. And number 2, the prep itself was not easy. There is way too much guards and way too much shit you gotta do. Plus, when you actually get in the helicopter itself, you still have to destroy 2 other helicopters with that helicopter before Pavel is gonna tell you it's safe to actually store it. So, unless you are planning to just have fun with a friend or something, don't do this. It's dead last, it's weird, it's just hard, and yeah. And we are going to go to our number 1 list, and if you didn't figure it out as yet, it's the Longfin. Now, the Longfin is pretty simple. It's pretty easy, the prep is easy, the only bad thing is the amount of cops that you're going to have to deal with, but that's pretty simple. Yeah, I have a video on it showing exactly how you can do it. But when you complete the prep, the Longfin is pretty basic and pretty simple. It gives you access to the island from the get-go. So you just could go to anywhere on that island from the get-go. You can literally, it takes like 2 minutes to get the spawn point to the mansion itself. Yeah? So that is why I love the Longfin so much, because the prep takes about 7 minutes, and getting to the I mansion with the takes like 1.5 2 minutes. Even though with the Kosatka you get to swim and everything, but personally I prefer the Longfin over just holding X and swimming by using a submarine. Yeah, because the Longfin you get to drive the boat, go to one location, then go to the island, especially if you're solo. If you are solo, the Longfin is the singlest best route that you could possibly use for the Cayo Perico finale. Even with a friend, it's still the best route out there. Me personally, I like this better. And plus, it comes with rebreathers. I know a lot of you may not have known, but with the Longfin, you're able to equip rebreathers, and you're able to breathe underwater, so you don't have to worry about dying, basically. And that concludes our list 1 through 6. I have listed them based on my takes. If you think I am wrong, like I was saying, if you think that my list was a little wrong, if you think you could have corrected in some way, then feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And if you need any help with any type of GTA related content, you can also let me know down in the comments below. I'll try to help you out to the best of my abilities. I'm also going to be live streaming some Cayo Perico glitches, some of the glitches for the Diamond Casino heist. You know, I'm playing with viewers, helping you make some dough, earn your first mansion, you know, stuff like that eventually. So hit the sub, hit the notification, let me know what you think, and eventually we can build a family together. Yeah, so let me know what you think about my list. Until another time, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.